headlines of this hour on VTV News. Party chief extends TED greetings to incumbent and former leaders. And we bid farewell to MERLE RATNER, Vietnam's devoted friend. And in our world news, twin bombings in Pakistan kill at least 24 ahead of elections.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Good morning. It is 8 a.m. local time and you're watching VTV News. I'm Huyen Ten with the top stories. Now, on the occasion of Lunar New Year 2024, Party General Secretary Nguyễn Phú Trọng offered incense to commemorate President Ho Chi Minh at house number 67 in the Presidential Palace, President Ho Chi Minh's monument area. Lê Minh Hưng, Party Central Committee Secretary and Chief of the Party Central Committee Office, also attended the event. House number 67 is the place where President Ho Chi Minh passed away, and it carefully preserves many of his possessions. President Ho Chi Minh was a great leader of Vietnam who dedicated his entire life to the glorious revolutionary cause of the Vietnamese party, country, and people. His legacy, along with the Central Party's wise leadership and the unity of the country, serve as the foundation for the entire party, people, and army to continue building a prosperous, civilized, and heroic Vietnam in the new year. A delegation of the party, state government, National Assembly, and Vietnam Fatherland Front, or VFF leaders paid tribute to late President Ho Chi Minh at his mausoleum in Hanoi on Wednesday to mark TED's Year of the Dragon. The party and state leaders show profound gratitude for President Ho Chi Minh's great contributions to the Vietnamese party and the nation's people. The delegation also laid a wreath at the Monument of Heroic Martyrs on Bắc Sơn Street, commemorating the outstanding national heroes who bravely sacrificed their lives for national independence. And also on the same day, leaders and former leaders of the party and state laid flowers. They also offer incense and pay homage to revolutionaries and martyrs at the capital city's Mai Dịch Cemetery. The delegation expressed their deep respect for the predecessors who have devoted themselves to the party, the nation, and the happiness of the Vietnamese people. Party General Secretary Nguyễn Phú Trọng chaired a get-together on Wednesday and extended Lunar New Year wishes to all veteran revolutionaries, incumbent leaders, former leaders of the party and state, and the Vietnam Fatherland Front, as well as the people, soldiers, and overseas Vietnamese. The party chief emphasized the collective efforts and unity that have led to significant achievements across various sectors. He also highlighted the key task for 2024, which is a year of great importance in implementing the resolutions of the 13th Party Congress and the 5-year socio-economic development plan for 2021 to 2025. This year also marked progress towards the 14th Party Congress with renewed confidence, momentum, and motivation. National Assembly Chair Vương Đình Huệ also offered incense in memory of President Ho Chi Minh in the Presidential Palace complex in Hanoi on Wednesday. The top legislator expressed his gratitude to the late President Ho Chi Minh for devoting his entire life to national independence, freedom, and the people's happiness. To mark TED Vietnam's biggest traditional festival, Chair Vương Đình Huệ wished the staff of the relic site good health, happiness, and successful fulfillment of their duties. He also asked them to keep up their efforts in preserving the remembrance and documents related to President Ho Chi Minh and properly introducing the leader's life and career to people nationwide and international visitors. On Wednesday, National Assembly Chairman Vương Đình Huệ visited and extended New Year wishes to the party, organization, administration, and people of Hanoi for the Lunar New Year, the 94th founding anniversary of the party and the 94th founding anniversary of the Hanoi City Party organization.
Praising the capital's essential contribution to the country's socio-economic achievements in 2023, the National Assembly Chairman conveyed General Secretary Nguyễn Phú Trọng greetings to the party committee, government, armed forces, and the people of Hanoi.
The General Secretary would like to send his best wishes to the party organization and the people of Hanoi. This shows the party leader's special concern for the capital. The party General Secretary emphasized that the city's party committee must do better in raising awareness of the significance of the capital's crucial position. The capital is Vietnam's political and cultural center, with 1,000 years of civilization. It's also known as a heroic city, a city for peace, and a UNESCO creative city.
The top legislator proposed that the city must prioritize completing comprehensive and synchronous capital development, ensuring rapid, sustainable development and international integration. Particularly, the city needs to put more effort into perfecting the draft revised capital law and Hanoi capital planning for the period 2021-2030 and the revised Hanoi capital general planning towards 2045 to submit to the National Assembly for consideration and approval at its 7th session in May this year. This endeavor is instrumental in building a civilized and modern capital. Previously, National Assembly Chairman Vương Đình Huệ and the delegation offered incense at the monument of King Ly Thái Tổ, who chose to move the capital from Hoa Lư to Hanoi and founded a golden era of development for the country. Also, during his visit, the top legislator presented 100 gifts and conveyed his New Year wishes to workers in the capital as state nears.
Wednesday was the last business day before the Lunar New Year or Tet holiday. Nevertheless, Hữu Nghị International Border Gate recorded robust trade activities and smooth flows of goods. The gate has recently handled 700 to 800 vehicles per day, with some days seeing nearly 1,000 vehicles importing and exporting goods in the week leading up to Tet. The main export goods were fruit and agricultural products, with exporters carrying out export procedures efficiently. The Lạng province authorities have rolled out many measures, including increasing staff overtime and negotiating with Chinese customs to extend clearance time. Custom clearance registered in advance will be processed from the next Thursday. From February 18th, custom clearance will return to normal. Coming up next on VTV News. Famed Craft Village keeps grinding for tasty Tet meals nationwide. And we bid farewell to MERLE RATNER, Vietnam's devoted friend.
When it comes to business, it's crucial to choose a smart location with global impact. And Vietnam might just be the location for you. Connect worldwide to advanced logistics networks. Smart hub for technology and innovation. A dynamic business ecosystem. An environment with a competitive edge.
You're watching VTV News Live. Tet is a time for family members to gather and celebrate this special holiday together. However, at the nation's borders, many officers and soldiers are still working day and night to fulfill their duties, protect national sovereignty, and ensure that people can welcome Tet happily.
Soldier Quyến has been assigned to stay on duty with his team. This is his first time celebrating Tet away from home.
This year, with my comrades, I'm dedicated to protecting the national borders. Although I really miss my home and friends, I'm focused on doing our duty well.
Đắk Nông shares a border of nearly 140 kilometers with Mondulkiri province in Cambodia. In the days leading up to Tet, Đắk Nông border guards will be on duty 24/7. They will increase patrols and close off trails and openings along the border.
Our patrols primarily cover dense forests and hills. Also, dealing with different criminals in the border region is tough, but we are determined to protect and stop unauthorized entry and smuggling.
After each patrol, officers and soldiers refresh the goalposts by replacing the national flag and redecorating them. Locally grown vegetables and food items are given to the military as gestures of support and encouragement. This not only boosts the morale of the border guards in protecting the country's sovereignty, but also demonstrates the unity between the military and the border community.
As the Tết holiday nears, Nội Bài International Airport expected a travel surge on Wednesday, but the airport has maintained smooth operations with no congestion. At the departure and arrival lobbies, there is a steady flow of passengers from morning to evening with no peak congestion periods. It is expected that Nội Bài will welcome 554 domestic and international flights with more than 81,000 passengers on Wednesday. From February 6th to 16th, Nội Bài International Airport will also implement Level 1 security enhancement under the Civil Aviation Authority of Vietnam's direction, arrange additional staff, and increase random checks for passengers and hand luggage. The airport also coordinates with relevant agencies to update and warn of extreme weather following plans and contract documents to ensure flight operations. Ho Chi Minh City has creatively presented goodwill gifts to disadvantaged families and low-income workers ahead of the Tết festival. These might be small gestures, but they mean the world to the workers who haven't been able to take their Tết break.
Every year, Tết break would almost be a luxury for Nguyễn Văn Phie and his teammates due to their hectic schedule. However, this year they have now taken solace in the Ho Chi Minh City Confederation of Labour, preparing a special selection of Tết gifts for them. The gifts were perfectly timed, helping them prepare for the Tết holiday.
As soon as I received those online discounts from the Confederation of Labour, thanks, I went to buy things online. There are so many things I want to buy for my family. I can't even have them delivered to my parents' house in Nhân Trạch District, Đồng Nai Province.
This year, the number of migrant workers who choose to celebrate Tết in Ho Chi Minh City instead of their hometown is forecast to increase fourfold compared to 2023. Data from the Ho Chi Minh City Confederation of Labour showed. Therefore, trade union markets will remain open for over a week.
These products are fresh imports. We will sell them at the best price levels possible to be accessible to everyone.
The ample Tết has also come for more than 15,000 individuals in policy beneficiary households and impoverished families. These low-price markets and additional discount hold great importance to those in need.
I'm happier being able to buy low-price goods than receiving money. I can put them to good use, while all the money will be spent anyway.
Besides consumers' items, families of 21,000 exemplary workers will be able to visit the Tết-themed Đầm Sen Cultural Park free of charge.
I'm going to save this ticket for my family to watch the fireworks display together on New Year's Eve.
These gestures of kindness and care from the city's Confederation of Labour give hundreds of families a meaningful Tết holiday.
Giò chả, or pork paste, is a must-have dish on a Vietnamese food trays during Tết. Thi Lễ village in a Tân Ước commune, Thanh Oai district, has made a name for itself, producing a pork paste as a generational profession. As Tết draws ever nearer, each artisan is immersed in mounting workloads and an unmatched sense of pride in adding distinct flavors to Tết meals everywhere.
Pork paste is not merely a seasonal specialty for residents in this famous craft village. The village is filled with the rich aroma of pork paste and the routine sound of running meat grinders all year round.
Orders of hand-grinding pork paste come rushing in every Tết season. It's a long-established tradition to grind pork with pure manual force. It requires a lot of strength since the wooden mortars are heavy.
This pork paste facility has employed the help of machines to ramp up output during peak production days. On the days leading up to Tet, it normally produces nearly 2 quintals of pork paste, double the usual volume.
We have prepared and delivered last-minute orders from time to time. Consequently, I have made it a habit to finish all preparation for Tet several months earlier.
During Tet season, I have to wake up at 3 a.m. I can only get as much as 3 hours worth of rest.
However, rushing orders does not give rise to sloppy end products. Every batch of pork paste is guaranteed the best craftsmanship and sophistication in the trade.
A good roll of cinnamon pork paste rolls requires 4 different molding phases. The deep frying is even more meticulous to ensure the paste's flavor and firmness. It bounces back when you tap it. That's the test of a qualified roll of pork paste.
During the Tet holidays, I work harder and, therefore, feel more worn out, but I am delighted to be able to contribute our unique flavors to every Tet meal.
While many people enjoy the delicacy of peach blossoms or apricot blossoms for their Tet holiday leisure, some have eagerly anticipated an exquisite flower to blossom, the narcissus. This traditional floral art form has seen a remarkable resurgence of arrangement practice, particularly among the younger generations. As Tet approaches, amidst the frenetic preparation, let us take a moment to enjoy the elegant world of narcissus flower arrangement.
Flowers lean gracefully, resembling a young woman. Elegantly curled leaves. A pure white, clean bulb. Waterfall-like white roots. And a uniquely winding shape. A beautiful bowl of narcissus must meet all 5 criteria: flower, leaf, bulb, root, and shape. For ancient Hanoians, narcissus symbolized elegance and refinement, and it was a special flower for the Tet holiday.
The French have preserved many images of narcissus from the early 20th century, specifically between the years 1920 and 1925. Older generations saw it as the flower of spring.
Arranging narcissus requires patience, meticulous care, and a deep understanding of the flower's nature. It involves knowing which parts to emphasize, how to prevent the leaves from sticking out, and instead, curving them to accentuate the beauty of the flowers. However, this pastime has gained popularity among young people in recent times.
I fell in love with the flower at first sight because of its delightful scent. Ever since then, I have been cultivating narcissus for over 10 years. Last year, I gave narcissus flowers to 2 of my friends, and they loved them. As a result, I organized a workshop to teach them.
The Essence of Vietnamese Narcissus Group was established in 2015. At that time, there were only a few participants, so our goal was to introduce the traditional essence of ancient Hanoians to a wider audience. I also have a TikTok account because it's a platform for young people.
On the last days of the year, people throughout the country choose to sit back and take their time to enjoy the traditional way of arranging Tet flowers.
During Tet holiday, placing just 1 bowl of fully bloomed narcissus flowers in the living room can fill the entire space with its delightful aroma. In the past, people in Hanoi believed that if the first narcissus bloomed on New Year's Eve, the homeowner would have good luck and encounter positive things throughout the year.
A great friend and comrade of the Vietnamese people, MERLE RATNER, has recently passed away in New York City in the U.S. She devoted her whole life to the fight for peace and independence of Vietnam and the victims of the war in Vietnam. Furthermore, she also made significant contributions to the normalization of Vietnam-U.S. relations. International and Vietnamese friends and comrades recognize her profound affection for Vietnam.
When she was just 13 years old, MERLE RATNER participated in street protests against the war in Vietnam in New York. After Vietnam regained independence, MERLE RATNER continued to fight for the rights of war victims. Susan, a former military nurse, had accompanied MERLE for many years in the campaign to help Vietnamese victims of Agent Orange. Even though she could not bid farewell to her beloved friend directly, Susan cannot forget MERLE RATNER's remarkable work and great responsibility.
MERLE worked night and day on bringing delegations to this country, on arranging tours to different cities in the United States, to working with the lawyers to be able to get justice in the court system.
Everyone who had the opportunity to interact and work with MERLE RATNER found that this woman radiated positive energy and great love for people in general and for the Vietnamese in particular.
MERLE dedicated a lot to Vietnam. I remember when MERLE invited me and one or two others from the delegation over to her house for dinner. MERLE said she really wanted to invite many people but couldn't because her house was too small. The room was very narrow, but if there was any space, it was filled with keepsakes from Vietnam. MERLE carefully kept everything that Vietnamese friends gave to her. MERLE's world was filled with Vietnamese memories.
MERLE is a loyal friend of Vietnam. She had a pure love for Vietnam. I can say her affection was as pure as crystal and as durable as a diamond. Her passing is a huge loss for all her comrades and friends who accompanied and supported her for decades.
MERLE RATNER passed away while harboring many plans to contribute to developing Vietnam-US relations. However, her will and spirit will continue to resonate among future generations.
Coming up next in our world news. Twin bombings in Pakistan kill at least 24 ahead of elections. And EU agrees first law combating violence against women. Now moving on to our world news. A pair of bombings in Pakistan on Wednesday killed at least 24 people and wounded more than 24 others. The first bombed attack took place at the office of an independent election candidate in Pakistan's southwestern province of Balochistan. The second explosion in Qila Saifullah detonated near an office of the Jaimat Ulema Islam Party. No group has yet claimed responsibility for the attacks. The twin blasts came just a day before the nation's general election. Local authorities said they have deployed tens of thousands of police and paramilitary forces to boost security at polling stations. Member countries and lawmakers of the European Union, or EU, reached an agreement on Tuesday on the bloc's first rules to tackle violence against women, the European Parliament and official said. The European Commission first proposed the major legislation on March 8, 2022, to mark International Women's Day. The law seeks to protect women in the 27-nation European Union from gender-based violence, forced marriages, female genital mutilation, and online harassment. EU lawmakers were positive the law represents a clear message across the Union that the EU take violence against women seriously, and that this was a directive that women and girls across all European Union have asked for over 30 years. The agreement is now subject to approval by the European Parliament and the Council, and it will then come into force 20 days after publication in the official journal. Norway's Telenor recently opened the world's southernmost mobile phone-based station in Antarctica, demonstrating a breakthrough in data collection and security for scientists. Located near the Troll Polar Institute, the new station conducts research and collects data ranging from studying glaciers and geology to the weather, climate, and radiation. The new 4G service covering the remote Troll Research Station and its surroundings will boost security for scientists and staff and support Internet of Things devices that collect and upload real-time information. Telenor has previously inaugurated a mobile phone-based station in the North Pole. Many of Morocco's skilled artisans have dedicated themselves to protecting the heritage of metal engraving. Once threatened with extinction, The craft has now risen to popularity and even made the list of UNESCO recognized intangible heritage. More to follow.
In the heart of Fez, Morocco's skilled artisans have been practicing the craft of metal engraving for many centuries. Passed down through generations, these techniques have become a cornerstone of the African country's cultural identity.
Metal engraving is an ancient craft, and it means engraving on copper, silver, and gold. This craft began in Morocco in the late 12th century and early 13th century. It began in the city of Fez, and over the years it spread to other cities in Morocco, especially Marrakesh.
The process involves a meticulous series of steps, each contributing to the creation of engravings that tell tales of tradition as well as craftsmanship. Craftsmen use a combination of traditional tools to bring the designs to life on the metal surface, using different types of engraving, each with their own characteristics. As the designs take shape, the artisans work to balance tradition with contemporary demands.
We always aspire to renew this craft. Therefore, we are working on developing several technical things. For example, we are working on modern paintings and tables that are different from what is traditional.
The marketing of the creations plays a crucial role in ensuring the continued survival and relevance of the craft. In recent years, Morocco has made efforts to promote its metal engravings both domestically and internationally.
Now before we say goodbye, let's take a look at the weather forecast. And that's all the news we have for this hour. To rewatch our program, you can download our mobile app at VTVgo or check out our YouTube channel, VTV4Go. Thank you for watching and see you next time.